Ladies and gentlemen, today's motion focuses about the negative effects of glorifying professional jobs and the problems it has caused within the society. In today's debate, the government side will enforce on why this house regrets glorification on professional jobs and explain why it causes more harms than good. But first, before we go on any further, let me introduce first the government side. I am the Prime Minister Muhammad Lokman Hakim, and I will build the foundation of today's debate. Next, we have our Deputy Minister Muhammad Akil Fahan, who will rebut the first argument given by the first speaker of the opposition side while bringing his own two new arguments to the table. Last but not least, our government whip Ilham Fakri, who will counter every single argument given by the opposition side, thus confirming our victory on today's debate. Now then, this government stands on the belief that equality is the best policy. We believe that all types of professions deserve to be recognized by the people, from the people, and to the people. The government believes that everyone in this hall has a basic understanding on the word regret in the motion above. However, the government would like to give its own two definitions towards the two terms which might be unclear to this debate, which are glorification and professional jobs. Firstly, the meaning of glorification in this context is giving gratification to a certain individual or groups of people to the extent of worship. Secondly, the meaning of professional jobs in this context is a job requiring a certain bachelor's degree of education needed in a certain field to progress further in the mentioned career. Now then, to make sure that today's debate stays on its focus point, the government would exclude the mentioning of nations which have struggling economies in various parts of the world. And in terms, if the opposition were to break this rule of thumb, then it will show that the opposition side is incapable of delivering speeches according to the given parameters. Moving on, my first argument is glorification causes more division amongst the citizens. The reason behind this is because the citizens will have less mutual respect towards each other. This is due to the hardships of non-professional jobs that are not being recognized by the general population. For example, it is those non-professionals who are cleaning our streets. It is those who are non-professionals who help us dispose of our domestic waste. And it is those non-professionals who help us change our pipes at our homes, even though we cannot. Now then, however, at the same time, the non-professionals are also at fault here, since they have high tendencies to be rebellious towards professionals. For example, we could see that in Malaysia, there are numerous cases of violence where people assaulted and criticized government staff, whether it was during quarantine or during vaccination. Now, the effect of this behavior, of this hatred towards one another, will eventually cause a phenomena which is called the worker strike, which in terms basically the best possible way I could describe is that people would stop working and demand for what they wanted. You could see this in the American worker strike during the 19th century and during the 20th century. So then, what this means for us is that when workers are on strike, then the economy of the region or the nation or even the world would fail, would collapse, will experience downfall, and thus worsening the situation at hand. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to state that this problem is a ticking time bomb for us. If we do not take appropriate actions within the appropriate time, then I could assure you within the span of 5 to 10 years, our nation, our country will lose 1/3 of its wealth just to deal with this problem. And our moral standards would go downhill very fast. Aside from that, it will give the impression that our country are backwards compared to other nations. Now, I would like to urge everyone in this hall to please take responsibility and help change the mindset of the society itself, so that we as the people, as fellow human beings, would appreciate more these non-professionals who are giving all their can, all their efforts, all their energy in helping maintaining our current situation. Without them, I could assure you that we would be in a dire situation, a more serious situation. Now, before I end my case, I would like to reaffirm that this government stands on its belief that equality is the best policy.